Vixen glasses?
My Jurgens. I call them my Jurgens. Well, you hate them so much.
Listen, I like that shape, but I don't like that mottling.
God fucking mighty. Good morning, everyone.
It's too female.
Oh, Friday, fuck off Friday.
Oh, hang on, I've got identical ones to you.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
These are goodlookers.com. We like these.
This is ridiculous. We
like these, but they don't look good on you. No, you're not having those ones, Mark. They're my ones. No.
Toffee thinks there's a fight.
Well, if you're going to take those, you've got to go upstairs and get my boots ones.
Oh, for God's sake.
I don't like those on you, though.
Morning, everyone.
At all. Anyone got any ideas on what shape glasses Mark needs?
Look, everyone said last night they like my Jurgens. Say Jurgens or round. This debate is going to continue for freaking days.
Spectacle sparring. I love it. Spectacle sparring. You're all just so on it.
Morning, Chesa Babes.
How
Morning,
are you
Sarah
all?
Fox. Morning, Good Ship Lollipop. Bobby Ward, Zoe, Philippa, Corrigan, Sam Doherty.
Can I just say the frother is called La Creme, Creme, on Amazon. I got it. I think
Claire
it was
Ross
about
Reed,
15 quid.
Jurgen. Thank you, Claire Ross Reed. Leave him alone, Nad, says Kathy Dunn. Jurgen ones without the frame on the bottom. Morning, everyone. Melanie Williams says Jurgen. Morning, Kerry Gracie, Tracy Welch,
Wait,
Alison
do you want
Fisher.
to put your Jurgen glasses on?
No, I'll just go with these for this one.
Well, you know what? That shape isn't terrible on you. It's just the colour.
All right, okay.
It's almost like we need somebody to help us match the colour to the hair.
Yeah, the wank one, says Emma L2189. Yeah, I'm inclined to
We're
agree.
on a quest to find a pair of glasses where Mark doesn't look like a wanker in them.
Oh, look, Nikki Ashfield, there's apps you can download with a pic of your face to help choose.
Really?
No, that's quite a good idea.
Oh, we should do that for the vlog. That'd be funny.
I am Jurgen. I run a fintech company in Finland.
A fintech.
Yeah, fintech company in Finland. So how are you this morning? We rarely ask each other how each other is. How are you?
Never a single morning goes past
No,
when
I mean,
you don't come down and I say, how are you? And we do actually, because we do actually say, no, how are you?
How could you take umbrage at
No,
such
I'm
a
saying,
benign
no,
comment?
because I'm saying
How can you get
that
cross about that?
I think one of the things that's quite good about us is we do say good morning and ask how each other are. We slag ourselves all the time, but that is something we do.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I do it more than you.
Maybe.
It's
hashtag fuck off Friday, guys. Hashtag fuck
Friday
off Friday.
fail.
Who's actually going to be having hashtag Friday fun tonight? Who's on the lash? Who's heading
why does
on
it
out?
have to be on the lash?
Because that's
I'm
what
going to have
generally
fun.
what I mean.
I'm going
What
to have
are
a
you
nice
gonna
live with the members, and then I'm going to do. We're going to have a
live with the
nice meal. I'm making wagamamas tonight. Keep your wagamamas, and then we're going to watch Euphoria.
Oh, that's going to cheer us up.
No, but that is a nice. That's a fun. We've got the day together. We're working together, which we enjoy. We're going for a nice walk and a beautiful sunny day.
Hashtag fuck off Friday.
But that is a Friday. That's Friday fizz to me.
Friday fizz. Oh no. Hashtag Friday fizz. Oh,
I'm fizzing.
God.
I'm
Can I just
fizzing.
say thank you to everyone for your lovely comments underneath my recent post when I had a bit of a dark moment. It was much appreciated. Thank you. Sarah Bates, no self-isolating. I'm shattered on a Friday, says Russ.
Yeah, I am quite tired.
I'm childminding. Who said that? I'm childminding. God, they got up so fast. Ellery Jones, Reese. It's too freezing this weekend to do much. It's got that reel at 7 o'clock this morning. It was like.
Faith Goodman says a good thing here. If you're a Conservative MP, please email them. If you have a Conservative MP, sorry, and tell them what you think of Boris. Yeah, keep up the pressure.
Dry January sucks, says Amy McNaught.
Zoe Shah's got a FaceTime date today. Now, my friend Lee had a
Zoe
FaceTime date. Zoe, I've just read it.
Zoe Shah.
Yeah, she just
Oh,
said
right.
Zoe Shah.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
Just
I
read
thought-
out a name.
Okay, sorry. I thought you meant
Are you
Zoe
questioning
Agnew.
whether Zoe's
No,
name
I
is
thought
Shah?
I thought you'd replace Zoe Agnews with Zoe Shah. Why are you looking at my mouth?
Because I'm astonished by your
Sorry, Zoe
Idiocy.
Shaw. I thought she'd misread.
Zoe Shaw, he's questioning your name.
I'm not
You
questioning
know what it
your
is?
name.
It's because the other day I put an egg in a pan and tried to boil it without the water in, but it was only because the kettle was on and then I thought the dog was puking up on the sofa. So I left the egg and went over to stop the dog puking on the sofa. So he thought I had Alzheimer's.
Can I say
So
I'm-
he thinks I was reading Zoe Agnew, but I said Zoe Shaw.
Can I say I'm a bit fucking fed up with this live? Hashtag fucking fed up on a Friday. I don't know what the initials are on that, but if someone could post them. Hashtag fucked off fed up on a Friday. No.
On fucking Friday.
Fed up on a fucked
Shh,
off.
don't stop because some people are listening with their children.
Oh, I know.
Stop
I
it.
know.
Not
no,
too
I
many.
Don't know. I don't
Not
know.
too
No,
many.
it's not for children, and it does say that.
Yeah.
Watching more of Bones, says Tim. Thank you so much for this. Christmas cards are coming in late, but at least they're coming in, and they're much, much, much appreciated and lovely. May Boo, Mark and Nadia, you've made being down and having a dark day not so strange for us, made us feel more normal and think, oh, bless you. Sorry, I didn't realise that was going to be a compliment, because like Nadia says, we don't like reading them out, we get a bit embarrassed. But May Boo, thank you very much.
Oh, thank
We
you.
hope it does distract.
Reese Roberts has given us the initials FFOFF. Hashtag FFOFF.
Oh, brilliant, thank you.
Write it down, because what we'll do is we'll post that on our Instagram, and only you guys here will know what we mean.
Hashtag,
FFOFF.
hashtag, I need to find it because I can't.
I've just told you it.
Hashtag,
FFOFF.
thank you very much. Somewhere, two of my kids had birthday last week and another next week, so I'm studiously not celebrating anything this week. I'm exhausted.
Oh, sweetie.
Shell CMB says Jurgen all the way. I'm
Put
afraid.
your Jurgen glasses on.
They're upstairs.
I don't
go.
know.
Yeah, I know you do. Oh, look, you could not make that clearer if you tried. How's your cracked tooth? Someone asked.
Well,
Well,
I've got pain in that tooth and the one next to it, which is worrying because that's got a gold cap on it now.
I've noticed Fridays are a day for tooth pain. I've noticed that. Pain in the tooth. So we've got some really sort of very sad stories, and we've got some very frustrating stories. Do you want to start with the sad story of Ashling Murphy? We have quite a large
We did
Irish.
We did a wine o'clock last
following.
night, and I kept seeing her name pop up, and we hadn't actually heard the news. So I said to Mark, "We've got to talk about this morning." Just absolutely heartbreaking. Another woman violently murdered, and yeah, I think we just all grieving again. We find us back in this place again, grieving again for a woman that we didn't know, imagining the impact on, family and friends, and how are they even like finding their way back up. She's a primary school teacher. There's 28 children today that will be told, will be informed on, violence from men towards women. And on that, I want to read a post that really made me think yesterday, because Mark and I, we were talking about this last night, and we both said, as we just do, because this is the way we are conditioned to think. We did the classic. She was jogging. She was jogging in the middle of the afternoon, and on that, this is somebody I follow called Laura_Bates_. There's actually two posts that I would love to read, but I'm sure we haven't got the time, so I don't know if you want to go and check out her page. So she says, another class of little children who will have to learn why their teacher is not coming back to school. Just a few short months after the murder of Sabina Nessa, another primary school teacher, another woman lost to male violence. Another group of children who will learn that men take away women's lives, that women are not safe anywhere at any time, at home or running or meeting a friend or walking or working or travelling or celebrating or dancing or sleeping or simply being. Another group of girls who will grow up already holding their keys between their fingers as they walk home in daylight, already learning to be alert, poised, always on edge. Already learning that they will never be safe, and already knowing it will all be their fault. That they will be blamed because people are talking about whether it was sensible to walk along a canal path at 4 o'clock in the fucking afternoon. Because, swipe right, this is the second most Googled question about Sabina Nessa. Can you believe that? Because we would rather find any way to blame the women than to fix the misogyny that kills them and the system that fails them. The opposite of an isolated incident is a pattern. We have to start recognising this as a deadly pattern, as a public health emergency. Until then, it doesn't matter where we tell women to go, or how we tell them to behave, or what we tell them to wear, or how many fucking apps we use to track them, or buses we tell them to flag down. Nothing will change because the women were never the problem. And her other post talks about we have to not ask, we have to not say in a positive way, like Mark and I did when we were talking, she was going for a jog. Because what are we saying otherwise? Are we saying...
Are people saying that?
No, we say, just naturally, don't we? We say, oh, she was going for a jog. Like, that makes it even worse than the girl who maybe have been pissed and walking home at night. Because it doesn't make it worse.
No.
The thing, it doesn't matter if the girl was falling down there, drugged out of her mind. It doesn't matter if she just had sex around the corner with her lover. It doesn't matter what the woman was doing. And I found myself going, oh, and she was going for a jog.
Like there's a sliding scale of sort of self-enforced vulnerability.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to unravel as a mother of daughters, the conditioning that I've had that I automatically think like that. Now, of course, I'm not going to automatically think if I hear a prostitute has been married and murdered at a canal that I'm going to, well, it's her fault, she's a prostitute. I'm not, of course, I'm not there, but I've got to undo this way of thinking. There was a really powerful conversation the other day on LBC. There's a new app where women can be tracked till they get home. So if you're...
Yeah, they were talking about the introduction of that. So has it come in?
It's just about to come.
Right.
Anyway, so this woman, I think she's from Women's... Another great Instagram account.
I think
anyway,
just to pause on that, I think what I've read about it is you pop in your details at the point that you head home.
Yeah.
And then it sort of pops up a message if you get home. So
yeah.
But
and I thought, oh, that sounds quite good. And that would be good for Maddie. And then this woman gave such an impassioned other side to it. She said, why? So it's another thing that women have got to take on to try and feel safe. And it won't make any difference. They won't feel any safer. They'll feel more scared. And she said, how about having an app so that, say, for instance, you're out with a group of lads. And I bet when you were growing up, there was somebody in one of your groups that used to think, he's a bit dodgy, he's a bit of a creep. And you can see him maybe getting a bit pissed and being a bit lechy over there in a club with a girl. How about you alert an app to track him, to see where he's going and where he's going to end up and what girl he might try and, I don't know, snog at a bus stop or give a lift to. I thought, my God, I've never thought of it that way.
So tracking them.
Why don't we track them? Why don't we track the people that have been caught before and got a year's sentence and are out for sexual assault, for flashing, for rape?
Like Zoe Shah says, what if my phone is dead? Yes, I can see. I mean, it's a really tricky one, isn't it? Because on the one hand, we always have to ask, or women will always have to ask, and men have to ask on behalf of women, why should women do this? But the practical dilemma is like the one when your daughter wants to go out and they're wearing something that would be considered revealing. You're not saying it's right. You're not sanctioning the status quo. You're not saying that it's a right thing that she needs to consider covering up as she goes out. But it is a statement of safety. It is a cautionary approach because, unfortunately, there is this sense of there is this attitude to men. I mean, someone somewhere just said she just read an article where they talked about the fact that she was wearing a sparkly outfit.
I mean, God damn them for saying that.
I mean, there is no.
God damn them
I get
to
you.
hell.
There's no set of conditions in which it's ever. You can't ever say that there's a more culpable or that a woman has put herself.
But it gives us all
but
these things.
There is. Well,
give us
the
a false
point I want to say
security.
that whether we like it or not, and it's a debate to be had, there is a sliding scale of vulnerability, and I think the number of assaults that don't get reported on a Friday night because so many women and girls are drunk potentially is scary. We only ever hear, assaults or, rape and what have you. As we know, most things aren't reported. So I think when you feel that about the fact that she was just jogging, there's quite a justified reason for thinking that's horrific, because I think more abuse and assault is probably happening.
No, because you know why? Because we want a false sense of security. We have
you
a
just
false.
want some
No,
security.
it's because we have a false sense of security. We are led to believe from tiny girls, as long as you go out in the daylight, as long as you dress right, as long as you do this, as long as you do that, as long as you have a chance of being safe. So when we all go, oh my God, she was only jogging, that's our false sense of security smashed, because we're told that's how to stay safe. A violent man intent on attacking a woman doesn't give a shit about any of these things.
Right.
So we have to, I just don't want this to become white noise where we talk about having to educate men. Tell men what they're doing wrong, not tell women what they're doing wrong.
But isn't there
not pile more responsibility on women?
But do you not think that the most, I mean, Tim, you just said then, it makes me so embarrassed and humiliated and outraged to be a man in terms of what male behaviour is. Does that messaging only ever reach the already converted, if you like? Doesn't the messaging of respect to women only ever because men who aren't interested are tone deaf to hearing anything about this.
And that's why the work is very, very hard. And that's why we shouldn't turn away from it because we don't know how to do it, because it's getting worse. It's actually getting worse. And until men are held responsible and the good men are also forced into some sense of responsibility, that they don't just laugh at the guy that's a bit of a creep, a bit rapey. Oh, he's a bit rapey. I mean, I hear this from the girls, that this is how it's spoken about in the younger generation. That is not allowed to be a bit rapey, So, I don't know. I just...
Well, I mean, one of the things, it's weird, isn't it? Because so many of the potential solutions. So, for example, they do teach community values or what they call civic responsibilities in schools. They do have a lesson a week, which is about sort of community awareness, how to treat each other civilly and all that. And yet, within some of these schools, most of these schools, there is still an objectification of women by boy students, despite that teaching. So even the idea that you teach this in schools, if those children are going home to a brute of a father or a misogynist of a granddad or an uncle or whatever, and they see that treatment, that boy is going to, unfortunately, just think that's right.
Track the rapists, track the sex assaulters, track those people, not the women, because a lot of women have come out on this and said this is petrifying, the idea of this app following you with domestic violence, with controlling relationships. It actually makes it's going to make a lot of women feel a lot more in danger than the other way around, And a friend of mine's daughter the other day was saying to us, and she's a very pretty girl, this girl, and she was saying that every time there's a couple of boys, and every time a boy comes and speaks to her, the other boys go, get some. And I was saying to my friend's daughter, my God, that's horrendous. What she said, well, he kind of says it as a joke. She's 13, right? So she has already learnt, and she's got a very full-on feminist mum, she's learned that the way that she deals with that is to say, oh, he's just, it is I don't like it, but he is kind of doing it as a joke. So that culture, how do we
Alicia Brorans, I hope I pronounced your surname right, Alicia Brorans says, good guys could pull their friends into line. They're more likely to listen to their mates than women. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the only way, if you imagine that, when other countries want to kind of enact change in other countries through subterfuge, they send spies in, they send people undercover. And I think in a way, you're right, good men or men that understand these values need to be undercover within those groups. That said, I've been to football matches where you just blanch at the language that's being used. And it's so en masse. You get little pockets of people who aren't like that. But Jesus Christ, it's a big, much bigger problem than we imagine. It's so much more embedded in our culture than we can even begin to comprehend. And it's like someone just said, a bad guy who's likely to assault, kill, rape, is not going to be impacted by this messaging.
No, but it's the messaging. We have to start with boys. We have to start much younger. We can't just say this is too big a problem for us to deal with and keep putting more pressure and more responsibility on women. We just can't. I mean, how much worse is it going to get? It's really bad out there.
Yeah. No, it's... And someone else just said then that Ireland is in a state of mourning after this.
Oh,
So,
God.
okay.
Apparently, this area, I don't know this area, apparently it's deemed as one of the safest places you could be. As that woman says, quite right, another 28 little girls that will grow up learning that it's not safe anywhere. And we have a duty to try and just not turn away from it because it's too difficult a question.
Caesar says, yes, it takes men to hold other men accountable, but it needs to happen en masse. You're absolutely right.
Nice to see you, Caesar. Hope you're well.
What was I going to say? Yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Just out of interest, how many of you, because there are a huge number of women who watch this, how many of you have encountered, I saw your comment, Zoe, that's just horrific. How many of you have experienced sexual harassment or assault?
I don't think there's going to be anyone that hasn't had at least
Well, no,
harassment.
I mean, that's why I'm asking.
I mean, the thing is...
in some capacity.
The thing is, so many women, and of course, because the conversation, the dialogue has been going now almost, almost constantly, because we've had in the last year, because of Sarah Everard.
I've seen one
Spin and
now.
Essa. So many women have said, oh, I didn't realise. Oh, when I was pushed up against the wall and a hand was shoved up my jumper on the way home from school, that was assault. It's assault.
Wow.
It's assault.
That's sobering.
What?
Just yes. I mean, it's...
We know, don't we, girls? We know.
Yeah.
We know.
What woman hasn't, Laura Lou? God almighty, I feel so fucking outraged by my gender.
Every woman will in her life. Yeah.
God, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Beryl McNally, not. It's the only no I can see in there. Okay, well, as we say, all of our prayers go to the family. A man was held on suspicion of being involved with her murder, but he's since been released. So doubly worrying, I would have thought, for people in the community to think that he's possibly still out there. Now, moving on to the whole party situation for Boris. And Sue, what's her name? Sue Gray, is it? This report that's coming through. I just want to share a really odd
Sue
thing
Gray,
that's
it sounds
happened
like
in
a
the...
shop for knitting patterns, doesn't it?
I just want to share
It's
something that's
strange.
really odd that's happened in the news flow today.
Yeah.
So the Times was reporting, because they've clearly been given some pre-warning as to what the contents of this review is going to be. That story has since vanished from the Times website. I can't find it anywhere. But the suggestion in this report is that they're going to confirm that Boris is responsible. There was no criminal activity in having this party.
What? Yeah, just
Just
take
pause
that
on that.
in.
Just pause on that. So there's going to be no criminal
He's gonna get
activity
away with it.
confirmed, and that Boris should be not. Boris isn't in breach of the ministerial code. I forget the language they used, but his judgment was somewhat askew.
But it very clearly states that if you lie, that is a breach of the ministerial code, and he has
Yeah,
lied.
but hang on. The only way he can be done for breach of the ministerial code is if he instigates an investigation into whether he's breached the ministerial code.
Yes, that's what you said.
So
Did you get that?
The only way an investigation into whether he's breached the ministerial code can happen, he's the one who has to instigate that investigation.
Doesn't this remind you of like Russia and North Korea and China?
So essentially,
he has to sanction that he can be found guilty of that.
So is he going to exactly sanction that? I doubt it very much.
Yeah, they do think we're that gullible.
Yeah.
Julie,
Hi, Nanny
yeah.
Di. Hi, Mum. Hope you're well. What do you think, Mum, about the Partygate? And so whilst that rumbles on, but the weird thing is...
Why do you think that article's being retracted?
Well, I wonder whether it's that there's a worry that somehow, not that it's a legal review or investigation by, what's her name? Sue Gray. Although it's not a sort of legally binding, review, I wonder whether they're worried it could compromise in some way.
So they managed to get that retracted for legal reasons,
Well, we
but
don't know
actually
that.
it's
We
they.
don't know
No,
that.
is that what you mean?
That's what I'm
Is that-
suggesting.
That's what you're suggesting.
But given the way the press works, the Times is usually the one paper that most stories are leaked out to, or most policy changes are leaked out to see what the response of the population is. There could have been someone close to Boris saying, pull that fucking story now. Otherwise, we're not going to keep giving you the leaks. I just think there's something odd about a story being
But
out there and then
why
being
did
removed.
why did they not want that story out there? Because we then know that the whole inquiry is going to be a joke.
Well,
Because
they
she
don't-
already has her hands tied behind
Well,
her
I
back.
think because they then don't have a chance to spin it the way that they want to spin it. They want visibility of this review to know how to manage it. Right? So
yeah,
he's going to be
yeah.
in 5 days. It's kind of curious that he's in a 5-day isolation at the moment, isn't it? So he doesn't have to suffer any sort of probing questions.
So,
I personally think if Boris
fortunate.
gets through,
He
however,
can still do Zoom interviews.
I worry that if Boris gets through this, God only knows what's going to happen. But the big story, who was it you said on Twitter last night, said there's a huge bombshell landing this summer?
Yeah, Kevin Maguire, who was Mirror gossip person for years and years, wasn't he? And he says that he's had it on good authority.
Is it Kevin
That
McCoy?
the something of the Sabbath. What did he say? We are going to find out something big on Sunday about another party, and I think it's going to be what I said the other day about Dominic Cummings having photos of the gin and tonic party
Yes.
in Carrie's apartment.
Josephine Walton says Boris can still go out if he's vaccinated.
Oh, so he can.
Yeah, that's
Of
interesting.
course you can.
That's interesting. Now, of course,
Oh, well done.
Yeah, well done.
Well, I hope the papers have picked up on that today.
Now, the Telegraph have reported that there are 2 new parties that have happened, and again, it's
The night before the funeral, dancing until 1 a.m. We've already been told Boris wasn't there.
Yeah, the night before Prince Philip's funeral, and I think the reason
Very generous with his house, isn't he? Letting everyone have these parties.
It's
all
party
the time.
central, isn't it? Let's go down the 10 Downing Street. I mean, surely the police on the gates at Downing Street that are well guarded have to have sort of foresight of who goes in and who comes out,
Right,
presumably.
this is very interesting. Tony Dunsford, honest to God, I don't care about the parties.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, a lot of
You
people are sick and
No,
sick
but
and
that's
tired.
what they want.
Yeah.
Because what they've done with the parties is the way that they deal with us on everything. Lies, corruption, disregard for people, and that's why it might seem, why do we just keep talking about parties? But it's the essence, and of course politicians have always lied, and politicians have always been corrupt. But if you allow something that's so obvious to happen in plain sight, what else will they do in plain sight? You just can't. It's just untenable to have a prime minister, a sitting prime minister who's broken the law and lied over and over again and been found out.
Yeah.
It makes a mockery of us around the world. I mean, my friend who works for German news said they literally howl with laughter. They cannot believe he is still in the position that he's in.
Yeah, no, I
They
agree.
can't believe the British
I
public
agree.
haven't demanded.
I mean, he's
out.
so wriggling around the sort of institution of parliament and governance that there's got to come a point. There's got to come a point where
And just on that again, why these parties aren't of any interest. So we've removed ourselves from Europe, and we have to get deals across the world to survive, okay? This is the man that's going to go and sit at a table and try and cut deals for us with people around the world, and he is seen as a joke around the world. So it's very, very important, the whole Partygate thing, because believe you me, across the world, we are a laughing stock.
Yeah, I think the reason these 2 parties are really quite emotive is that, of course, most of the papers are running with that incredibly moving photograph of the Queen sat on her own in the church at Philip's funeral. So I know, these contrasts are quite stark, aren't they? I mean, they really sort of throw into perspective the differing attitudes. I mean,
And
it
why
couldn't be
weren't
more.
they scared? Why weren't they scared of this deadly virus that they terrified everyone else with? Why weren't they scared of getting it and dying?
Yeah, well, as someone said, did they potentially know something else about it? So that's our lockdown parties. Now, Djokovic, how do we feel about Djokovic? He's finally had his visa rescinded and rejected. So after having gone to every single social event in France, and I think he was playing outside of his quarantine hotel or something, wasn't he? He was put in quarantine, but he just decided to have a game of tennis.
He obviously thinks he is way above any other human beings.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really pissing me off now.
Yeah. Movie fan, to anyone on Djokovic's side, we don't want him here. He doesn't deserve to get a vaccine exemption while we were locked up for 6 months.
Exactly. When
just
you've
hoping the
gone through
appeal
so
happening
much.
right now doesn't go through. So he's appealing again.
I mean, you've gone through so much in Australia. You had the toughest lockdown to keep the bloody virus out. You've got your rules and regulations. And when you travel to another country, you have to respect the rules and regulations of that country. And he's really taken the piss. He has to stand back and go, do you know what? I've been a right arse.
Wally. A right Wally. I mean, that's.
He could be in the cabinet, says Janet Sharp. Yes, he could be our prime minister.
I think we might end up seeing a shot of Djokovic at the back of the party, garden party. Final little bit. I know Nadia hates anything that's coming from outer space, but if you've seen the movie Don't Look Up, which we have to say we weren't overly enamoured with, but Don't Look Up is a film starring Leonardo DiCaprio about an asteroid heading to Earth that him and Jennifer Lawrence are struggling to convince the American government to do anything about it. It's an analogy for climate change and potentially COVID as well. But a potentially hazardous asteroid is going to pass Earth. It's twice the size of the Empire State Building, and it'll be making a close pass by Earth next week. I would have just loved to have been a fly on the wall.
What if it hits us?
Well, what if there's just a gust of wind? That's my worry. What if there's a sort of gust of intergalactic wind, or maybe the sun does an intergalactic fart?
Oh God, you had intergalactic wind yesterday.
I really
God
did.
Almighty.
It was quite profound. What if my intergalactic wind knocked it off target? It just put me in mind of the fact that it could take something very odd and very simple, like a rock hitting us,
Hi, Jacqueline
to
Frost,
completely
nice to
change
see you.
everything immeasurably forever.
Guys, if you're looking for a really feel-good
A space fart.
movie
That's it.
this
Thanks.
weekend, set in the 80s, a coming-of-age, witty comedy, not a comedy, it's very witty drama. It's a will they, won't they kind of romance. It's Licorice Pizza. Mark and I did a review of it. It's up here on the channel. I really, really recommend it. I loved it.
No, it really is. It's feel good. It's feel good. And of course,
When I watched it, I felt such a relief away from the world and all the horrors of it. It was just a bubble of fun. I smiled all the way through it.
it's like popping to LA for a bit. Now, a couple of things. Confessions of a Modern Parent is back. It's just landed today. It's all about what would go in the job description of a parent. What should go in the job description. Nadia had a huge response from you guys on her Instagram. So go and check that out. We hear from teenagers on what perhaps our job should be. The weekly rushes will be landing later. And on Popcorn Junkie's Instagram, it's the fortnightly competition to win cinema tickets for 2. So that will be landing at midday today.
And also, I'm doing a members live tonight. It's just me because Mark's got a lot of editing to do for the Sunday show, where I'll be giving out cards. And yeah. So I will see you there.
Please do another How to Stay Married. We're doing one next week. I think they're going to be landing more like fortnightly. So yeah, we'll be doing one at the beginning of next week.
People asking there, could Lee host a quiz? That would be fun,
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
it?
would be
'Cause we
nice.
could do them on a StreamYard.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
do
I'll
another
ask
quiz.
him.
Like
I'm
that
calling
Mr.
him.
and Mrs. That
Yeah,
would be
that
fun.
would be so much fun.
Leonardo DiCaprio on his yacht. Yeah. Oh, and can we do a welcome to Abigail Clear, who's become a new member of the family guest area?
Welcome,
No, Abigail Clear.
Welcome, Abigail Clear. Welcome, Abigail Clear.
Abilene?
Welcome, Abigail.
Oh,
It's hard to say.
my God.
Welcome, Abigail Clear. Welcome, Abigail Clear. Welcome, Abigail Clear to
You went
the
there.
VIP. Not
Area.
VIP, family guest area. Bloody hell, that went well, didn't it?
Jesus.
Abigail Clear.
Sorry,
Do you ever
Abigail.
stumble over your name, Abigail Clear?
Abigail Clear.
Abigail Clear. Abigail Clear. Abigail Clear. Go on, don't get lost.
Abigail Clear. Guys, have a fuck off Friday.
Oh, God, I thought you were swearing at
No,
them.
I was saying have a hashtag fuck off Friday. Or have a
hashtag FFOFF.
Yeah, there we go.
Hashtag FF. Thanks for that, Reese. FFOFF.